Play can happen in many different environments and in many different forms. But interestingly enough, we know that generally, universally around the world, there are specific stages that play develops through. So children will start doing specific things and then they can move through that to more sociable play. So I wanted to discuss with you the different types of play that you'll probably see with your child at this age. And in the very early years, from about birth to 2 years, what you'll mostly see is what we call unoccupied play. Now, unoccupied play doesn't look like play at all. Sometimes your child might be just standing still, staring at an object. Sometimes they literally are just moving around, and that's all about just getting to grips with the environment. Sometimes they might also just be trying to get to grips with how their body moves and how they get to move things around and move within their environment. Then from there, once they've got a good grip on the environment and what's going on, between the ages of about 2 and 3, we see solitary play coming up. Now, solitary play basically means that children play alone. So they might play with toys. Those toys are quite often totally different to what a friend very close proximity to them might be playing. But there's no interaction between the two. There's very little social skills at this age. And so what happens is right now your child is just getting used to the idea of being close to others and around others and doing that in a calm, peaceful way and just getting on with the business of play. Between the ages of about 2.5 to 3.5 years, we get onlooker play. So your child might now not physically be playing with something. He'll actually be watching another child play or watching how children interact, but might not want to get involved himself. All he's doing at this stage is trying to figure out what those rules of social interaction is. What do children do? How do they do it? And between the ages of 2.5 and 3.5 years, we see parallel play. Parallel play is particularly interesting because this is the beginning of social interaction. So there's the tiniest little bit of social interaction in that your child will sit in close proximity to other children, will possibly be playing with the same type of toys, but won't interact constantly. So they might borrow toys or swap toys with other children. They might occasionally talk to each other and then carry on with their own play, but it's not that social together all the time kind of play that we see. Then we start seeing associative play. So associative play is where they start interacting with each other all the time. But quite often they've got very different ideas of what's going to happen in this play session. So your child might have an idea of what he wants to play, and he sets up the rules and he does things, and his playmate might be doing something totally different. But usually overall they still happen to have a good time together. And the last thing we see between the ages of about 4 and 6 is cooperative play. So cooperative play is where your child has finally been able to integrate those social rules. He understands how rules work, and all of a sudden they can start playing structured games, things like hide and go seek or just playing board games. So they understand that everybody has to have a turn. They're old enough to wait their own turn. And they understand that everybody has to stick to the rules. And at that age, they're old enough to be able to play those cooperative games and have fun all together.